Hey, good morning, and how are you guys doing today? So, we're back with episode 29. We're going to be casually writing today and trying to figure out how we're going to close out book one in this series of the dark fantasy sci fi. I'm going to shoot us all the way down here to where we are. Um, I'm going to let you know we've already kind of got a start on chapter 18. I feel that we'll probably finish this out by chapter 20 or so. Um, During revision, though, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to get up chat real quick. During revision, I already know I'm going to add about two or more chapters in the back, just to be honest. And a whole bunch of stuff will probably change. And so, outside of the fact that the current state of our book doesn't actually reflect how it's going to be when we're done, because we end up doing, or I'm going to end up doing, at least two or so revisions. Hold on one second. Sorry about this. Trying to get chat up and so I can see what everybody's saying. I do hope you're all having a great morning, by the way. I'm having a pretty good one. I just woke up. It is 5 a.m. where I'm at, so a little bit discombobulated, which is probably not a shock for you guys that, watch every morning. And so, good morning, Avalonus. Hope you're having a great one. Good morning, everybody else, by the way. I hope you're all doing amazing. So let's go over where we're going to try to end this situation off with, right? Because I don't want to make it, weird. Let's just be honest. Sam's friends are going to ditch him out. So here's my basic plan on that. Maya and Karina or Kiera, and I'm not really sure which way to say it. Good morning, Ilonia or Elenon. I'm not really awake yet, guys. I apologize. Um, I'm gonna have them go off with Amelia. So let's just be honest with that. I'm gonna get them out of the picture, right? So let's look over this because what we're gonna do is Sam's friends are gonna ditch him out because of the ghoul virus. I am leaving the ghoul virus in Sam. I am actually going to do that. He's going to be infested with the things. His friends are going to decide that they don't trust him. I'm going to end up having to back put in some of the crew members of the ship, so he can kill one of them, maybe even, just to be honest. But Sam is gonna get betrayed by his friends, which I don't know if we consider it a betrayal. He's gonna be infected with the ghoul virus, and we'll give his friends a good enough reason to kick him off the ship. Let's get chapter 19 in here. And let's definitely say we know we're gonna have a chapter 20, right? Okay, so with that in mind, all this stuff is in the future books. So let's just imagine Act 2 is not really Act 2. That's Book 2, Book 3, in which, by the way, we're going to sober them up beforehand. So that doesn't happen in that next one. But let's just be honest. This we're going to have probably at the very beginning of the second book, just to be honest. And it's going to look different. I just haven't figured out the second book because we're still in the middle of book one. So, having a clue what's going to happen in book two. I do know by book three, whole cosmic wars going on, blah, blah, blah. So let's get into what's going to happen here. I need to figure out what we had happen already. Okay, Mia's in the regeneration. Bay. Oh, okay. So I feel we need to go back here into this part to where we're in the shootout, right? Because we need to establish some crew members in here. Still are alive. There's always something to do here, right? The second wave came around. Okay. And then we're going to add in. Okay, so we've got crew members remaining, right? Obviously, in rewrite, that's going to have to, a lot of crap's going to have to happen there, guys. I'm going to just be honest. But we've established some crew members back in there. During revision, I'm going to flow this out. Honestly, the amount of chapters I'm probably going to have to add, I feel is about 2 or 3 whole chapters at this point. I almost wish that we would have rolled somebody different dying than who we got, but um, we're going to leave it as it is because that's how I said I was going to write this, and those are the breaks, right? So let's figure out how to flush out this a little bit, and then we'll go over and figure out how we're moving forward and how I'm going to close this out. Um, and then over the next week or two, we'll close out the chapters. I'm going to do revision 1 or 2, not online. Then we'll probably read through the whole thing, doing minor changes for revision 3. Revision 4, I'll probably kick it to some friends so that they can tell me what they don't like or what they do like. And then I think revision 5 will just be, hey, um, let's try to make this as good as possible, get rid of something if it's not needed, type stuff. Okay, as we arrived at the medical bay, Kiera and Blake had already gotten me into the regeneration chamber. Honestly, I need to back establish that Kiera cannot read Amelia at all. That's going to be important. So these back ads are going to be in revision 1, just so you guys know. Um, that's when Amelia told Kiera and Blake to go back to the other ship and check on the others. Then, as soon as they left, they laid me on. Okay, so here's the other thing is in revision, we're obviously going to have wounded crew members and all kinds of other stuff too. And so, laid me on one of the medical tables. Then she went to work. Okay, at one of the stations. It looked like she had drawn a large amount of blood from herself. It, we're just going with right off. She had drawn a blood large amount. Not even it looked. Which was teeming with her nanites. Then she walked over, held me down, and okay, boom. So he loses consciousness. Whew. Okay, so let's look over this. How do we do this? Hey, good morning. Okay, so we've got him dying over and over in his dreams. Okay, Don't know what to call his state, because honestly, he's not obviously unconscious because he's pseudo-conscious. We'll just describe it. Chamber. I don't know why I put table. That's not something that we've established at all. No, no. Thinking of what we're exactly doing here. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We got Sam recovering in the nanite thing, or the regeneration chamber. We can probably get Sam. We know Sam's gonna recover nanites. Okay, boom. You know what? Let's leave that to increase. Hey, good morning. How are you doing? I hope you're doing awesome, actually. We're trying to. So basically, here's what's gonna happen here. Let's wake him up. Hmm. Let's just skip right to the thing because we'll just pretend he didn't wake up right there. It sucks. Good morning. How are you doing today? It sucks is his name. He's not just for anybody watching. You guys. I hope you guys are all doing awesome actually. So Amelia's gonna to basically do bad things to him. Obviously, she's already obviously done bad things to him. So we're not gonna consider it bad anyway, though. You guys, just for the record, no good, no bad in it. Just hey, this is what happened. Yeah, ask away. How you doing anyway? By the way, you can ask unrelated things too. By the way, I don't, you guys are able to ask whatever. I'm pretty open book on that stuff. Good morning, Fire Debug. Hope you're having a great one. I'm glad you guys are doing good. Now, guys, I don't remember if we had back established her getting the AI. Um, let's just be honest. Oh, I'm gonna tell you what. The second there's a company that's starting to work actively on real regeneration chambers, I'm gonna invest in that crap, guys. Just for the record, because you know that eventually we are gonna have that stuff, right? I mean, thank God too. That'll be super super cool. Like, I have a theory on that already, but I mean, like, it's not one that we can go and build a regeneration chamber on type theory. So, but I do think that they're possible. I just think that we haven't made them yet. I don't even think that they're like technologically more advanced than where we are now. I think we just haven't combined the right technologies to be like, oh, and here's a regeneration chamber. I mean, they'll suck at first, of course, but by suck, they'll be better than most medical treatments. So, but yeah, ask away. What's your question, by the way? Oh, just because it feels awkward doesn't mean anything. It can, so just write what's gonna happen, right? I'm gonna hook you up. This is super important stuff sometimes. Let me click here. Oh, you know where we could click? I'm gonna get you a link. This is gonna be to Brandon Sanderson's. You know Brandon Sanderson, the sci-fi writer. He's super famous already. He's not working on stuff. He's already done it. I'm gonna grab you links So Brandon Sanderson is going to be the first one you're going to want to watch, and I'll show you what you're going to want to watch in a second. Hold on one second. I want you to have all these links as a resource. I think that these resources are super, super powerful resources, just for the record. Tell Foundry's amazing. Quinn's Ideas is amazing. So real quick, we're going to go and I'm going to show you what's up with Brandon Sanders. Can I just click this? Oh yeah. Can I click open new tab? Yep, we can. Oh, I love this. Okay, so watch this. On Brandon Sanders' thing, you click here, we go to his playlists, right? This playlist right here, which by the way was super helpful. Here's writing advice, here's all kinds of stuff, and I'll tell you what I think too. But I want you to have the same resources that I had because they're actually that big of a deal. So watch this. I'm going to pause this real quick so we don't get this. This is his whole college lecture. It's his whole class, right? And this guy, this is the introduction to writing, his part 2 on writing. This is like the plot development section. This is viewpoint question and answers from his class. This is on the world building stuff. This lady's some kind of famous short story lady, and she came in and did a guest thing on short stories because he doesn't write short stories. This is more world building, character building right there. And then it goes all the way down to he even gives lectures on getting published and stuff like that. Besides all that, I'm going to let you know this lecture series, which is what? 1 hour a piece, and there's 14 of them. So it's 14 hours of lecture. Holy crap. Super handy. But reality wise, it doesn't actually have to sound good on the first draft. All you're trying to do is get the story out on paper. So if it sounds weird or sounds awkward, just keep writing it and move past that because as you're getting further in, you're going to realize what you needed to change anyway. And you can always scroll back up after realizing what you thought should be different and change it. And then, anyway, you're going to do revision 1, revision 2, revision 3, and revision 4. And in all honesty, just like I'm going to let you guys know, once I revise this 3 times, it's not even going to be the same story exactly that we just wrote over these last multiple weeks. It's going to be an absolutely different story. The details are going to be better. The characters are going to be differently developed. The whole of it, even sloppy areas, because there's sloppy areas that I'm not happy about in this story, right? But as I go back through it, now knowing the full story, I'm going to change that stuff. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to make it better. Revision 1 and revision 2 are going to make it a lot better. But I'm going to tell you by revision 5, because I'm going to read all the way back through it 5 times at least, making changes the whole time. It's not going to be the same. I already realized that I need whole chapters basically backgrounding and kind of flushing out certain things better because I got it out there. I got the idea out there. But is it the way I want it? No, not at all. And so your first draft, and he goes over this in his thing, isn't perfect. It's not ever going to be. In fact, your first draft is crap. The thing is, it's not about having a perfect first draft. It's about having a really good story after you've revised it 5 times. So like a million percent, don't stop just because you're like, hey, I started writing this up, but then it wasn't playing out the way I wanted it. doesn't even matter. You can change that later. And I'm going to show you this Tell Foundry stuff because I think that this Tell Foundry is super important to go over too. So Tell Foundry right here, right? I will show you some crap. People don't even understand how this Tell Foundry, guys. It's not just a good resource. This resource is beyond a good resource. This covers specific details like writing anti-villains, paradoxes, contract as magic systems, antagonist heroes, the fifth wall, all kinds of like just finding the magic in a story, like crazy stuff that you wouldn't even realize can have its whole own type um, videos. I mean, like this right here, guys, is probably like it tells you tropes, why villains love contracts. Um, like where's one of the ones? Crafting a magic system, promises is magic, how to destroy yourself in epic fantasy writing and stuff like that. This one, um, not this Yellow King one. Where's the one that I thought was just so fascinating? There's so many of these that were just really worth watching, honestly. Um, it even had one. Where is it? How to write the impossible. So I'm going to tell you what, if it's an indescribable thing, describing it all of a sudden becomes super, super freaking hard to do, right? This video literally covers how to describe the indescribable. In which, if you're writing and you're like, but it's beyond description, um, how do you convey that? That's not so easy, right? And when you're dealing with cosmic horrors, I already knew that they're going to be beyond description, right? This is something that you have to know. Like, because I'm going to have to get to a part, especially in book 2, when we're directly dealing with horrors, in which we're dealing with the indescribable. And so all of a sudden, this becomes super powerful. This, though, the Tell Foundry is a writing resource. And they write, so they're not just like, hey, I don't write, I'm just giving you a bunch of resources. Here's how to kill a god, which, by the way, how are we going to kill gods and stuff like that? Which, there's gods in our story, later on. How are we going to kill things like a god is complicated. Like, what's the best way to write that? But this, guys, and Quinn's ideas is super good too. It's just these are direct resources. By the way, this Prepare to Die, um, I'm gonna grab this for you guys. Hold on one second. I'm gonna click this. This is so good. I would suggest this video to anybody just to be honest. If you guys know about the Princess Bride story, um, I'm going to let you know the Princess Bride is not the original story. So I planned on using the things I learned off of that video in one of the revisions to make this better. But the Princess Bride version that you've seen in the movies and stuff like that is absolutely not the original story. It's the story actually redone and made better. Yeah, you don't have to take your notes, but get all the way through the thing. I'm going to tell you what, you're going to keep doing better. That's the idea, is that it's going to keep getting better. All you have to do is write down and move forward. Write down, get to the end of the idea, get to the end of the next idea. And then when you get to revision, see, you're trying to do ongoing revisions of your thought while you're having your thought. And he goes over that. You don't need to do that. In fact, that's one of the things that'll stop you from moving forward. What you need to do is just puke out the whole of the idea so you can see it in its full. And then go back through and start making those things better and better. And then on revision number 6, you're going to have it mostly how you want. And maybe you need 9 revisions to have your story the way you want your story to be. But I'll let you know that if I find something that I think, oh, this adds nothing to the story that we've written, it's gone. A story is made better when it's just eliminate the stuff that adds nothing of value to it and try to get everything that you could think of that you want to convey in the story to the people reading it in there. That's not in draft 1. That's like literally the rough draft of something is rough. It's going to be crap. It doesn't have to be good. The whole thing is you could take a story that sucks, right? And you could read through it, and any of us reading through even a badly written story could be like, you know what? This part sucks. It should be redone like this. If you then redo it, it's a better story. You've got infinite time. It's not like you finish up and you're like, oh, I have to hit publish immediately. You can go back through that story and be like, you know what? I think I could have made this section better. And I don't really think I explained this guy's character well enough. I had already decided before we started writing, anybody that we kill in the story means that I have to go back and at least put in a paragraph or so that makes it where there's a reason that that would matter to the reader. I have to find some way to make them endearing or hated or something so that there's some kind of gratification over their death, even if it's emotionally damaging gratification, which I'm not trying to say is nice to do, but I'm going to tell you guys straight up, everybody that died gets their own paragraph that will attempt to establish an illicit emotional reaction from when they died. Because just having people die gratuitously is worthless. It gives no value to the reader. You know what I'm saying? And so I literally kind of took notes on everybody we killed. During revision 1 or 2, everybody that got killed is going to be made that much more endearing or that much more something else to you so that when you get to those parts where they get killed, it actually matters. And so that's kind of yeah, I don't know what to call it, but it's something that I think should matter. Like if it's being read by your person, hey, thank you very much, Vile Duck. I hope my day's full of inspiration too. So far, it's been awesome, actually, you guys. Um, I want it to matter. Like when you read something, I don't want it to just be like, oh, and there's some junk details, and this guy's just puking out stuff. And look, he added 9 guys just so he could body count a bunch of people. I will go back and I will make it where we get to the point where what's his name gets killed or so and so gets killed, and you're like, frick, crap. And there's a whole section, I think, in Quinn's ideas or in Sanderson's lectures in which he goes over making it matter. Like how to make it matter and stuff like that, how to make a character likable. Actually, for sure, Sanderson goes over it in his lecture series, in character development and stuff like that. They go over literally how to make a person likable or how to make them just despised, and why it does matter that you have an illicit feeling. You're not reading something just to see a bunch of words, right? And so at the end of the day, you want to be able to figure out points in your book that you're going to attempt to elicit an emotional knee jerk reaction from the reader. And that doesn't even have to be in the rough draft. That can just be that you're going to get the story out And then you're going to go back in there and sow in the seeds of an emotionally damaging situation so that the reader actually gets something out of it. And honestly, if I wouldn't have listened to Brandon Sanderson's and that Quinn's ideas and the other guy's stuff on the Tell Foundry, it probably would my ability to just pump out something would have been totally different. Because I got caught up with trying to make the first paragraph perfect instead of just getting through the first paragraph, and you'll never have it perfect. Like, you don't know the full story, so as you move forward, how you see the past is going to change anyway. And so, in all honesty, just write your stuff. I'm telling you, you're going to have a great story by if you'll write your whole story out and then read through it, the amount that you'll know because you know what's going to happen in the future is going to be totally different. And then you're going to be able to sit there and say, you know what? I'm going to make this section this much better. And I honestly think that you're going to make a much better story. Don't get trapped. Like, straight up, don't get trapped with that crap. I, I'm honestly, I ever meet Brandon Sanders, I'm gonna frickin' have to buy that dude a drink, or he's Mormon or something, so I don't think he drinks. But whatever, I'm gonna kick it with him, get him some lunch or something. Because in all honesty, without listening to his lectures, there's no way I would be anywhere near at chapter frickin' like I was falling for the same traps. Just for the record, like where I kept reworking the same thing again and again instead of just moving forward. And so super, super helpful. By the way, I'll list all those links in the video details on YouTube. Um, also, I mean, I'm not biased where I'm like, hey, the people on YouTube don't get links. I'll make sure we have links for everybody. I like helping you guys. But then when you guys see me at something, feel free to get a drink. We're able to do that. I mean, I don't drink a lot because I'm not a good drinker, but a margarita sounds fine. Okay, let's get some more of this down. I'm gonna let you know we are turning him into a ghoul. That's why his friends are gonna kick him off the ship. Let's figure out this. I think we're gonna end up at chapter 21 by the time his friends kick him off the ship, or chapter 20 is where his friends are gonna kick him off the ship. I've got this figured out now. Okay, so here's how this is gonna play out. Now, on Friday, we're going to be writing for 2 hours, so we'll knock out a bunch of this stuff. It won't just be a, hey, let's figure out where we're going. So, chapter 19, I'm going to let you know. Um, Mia, Kiara, and ooh, I almost think yeah, that sounds good. Not a problem. Honestly, everybody should help each other out. That's how we all get better as stuff. I get saved by you guys watching all the time. You have no idea how much help everybody's gave me on this. Like from little suggestions to when we were in the brainstorming of this world, I had tons of great suggestions from everybody. And so, there's not a moment that has not been a benefit to me from you guys. Like just straight up. Just absolutely amazing. Like everything has been absolutely amazing, to be honest. My coffee's even good this morning. Okay, I feel that in chapter 21, we'll just say them, because I'm not sure if it's a girl or a boy yet. You know what I'm saying? Okay. We'll have to add some stuff into chapter 19 because that's not really a full chapter right there. I'll have to really think about that. Oh, you know what though? I almost feel that this goes back in here, like that. So we've got actually only Blake, Brandon, and Orion. Okay, boom. So we've got him getting stronger, able to get into the ship's systems. They're gonna get rid of him at this point. Okay. Think we're gonna end up with we'll probably end up with 23 chapters, honestly, guys. Maybe 22. Oh, okay. We're probably gonna have 20. No, no. Well, 23 chapters is probably gonna be where we're at. Let me look back over this. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna have to get this 19 blah 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 this stuff done. So on Friday, here's what we do. We knock out the turning him all the way and getting that AI in him. So we already know he's a technopath and a technomancer. We're turning him into a ghoul, right? So we're giving him the ability to bite somebody and turn them into a actual like a controlled zombie, basically. Um, then what we're going to have happen is this is where we're going to introduce the Space Vikings. Book 2, which I have to even start working on after we, revise the crap out of this. Book 2 is going to be a lot more focused on him meeting the bearded traveler. I don't really think his addictions are going to be an issue at book 2, honestly. And so we might just get rid of that purges his addictions because I'm pretty sure we're about to purge his addictions with the, hey, he's going to be in a space capsule for like a little bit on a planet, then taken by a bunch of crazy cultists. And then from there, we'll figure it out. Honestly, I feel that we have the closeout though. to book one, in which we finally fully made Sam a actual good enough character, for book two, in which book two is of course going to be just crap tons of action and dealing with crap. By book three, we'll probably bring back in um, his friends and stuff. Just for the record. I mean, the ones that are still alive, and who knows what happened to them after they split ways. But basically, Sam's about to be ditched out. Is the basically where we're going with this. I think that that makes sense. Everybody agree? Kind of makes sense. Um, I think his ability to turn people into zombies and stuff is super gonna be handy. We'll have to keep that on the low though. Obviously, that's something that we're gonna have to keep hidden. I'm really excited. So that's basically we have four more chapters to write, five technically. That's nothing. And we have them outlined pretty much. I mean, like not outlined in a real outline, but in a hey, this is what we're doing anyway. And so, and then this is going to be its own separate book where he meets the bearded traveler. This is going to be a lot more Viking-y, space Viking-y, fight against the stuff, um, fight against everybody, honestly, because everybody's going to want him dead, right? I think we all know that. I'm super excited for that. I have no idea what happens in Act 3, you guys. For the record, we're hoping that I have a idea of what would happen in Act 3 by the end of Book 2. I'm okay not knowing where we're going exactly, though, because that's going to make it much more fun. But Book 1, I think that by the time we revise this all the way through and stuff, is going to be super good, honestly. And obviously, since I'm going to add two or three whole new chapters in the back writing and stuff like that, we're going to have a pretty hefty. Oh, yeah, Space Vikings. He's going to, in this book, he's going to fight. The end of this book, our climax, is going to be him fighting side by side with the Space Vikings. Like straight up. So, yeah, we're going to be heavy in the Space Viking stuff in book 2. Space Vikings sound cool, right? We've already used the trolls. We've got a whole bunch of stuff in our world building to use still, guys. Remember? We've got the Space Vikings, by the way. Um, I don't know if you guys know who Miyamoto Masashi is, but they wrote the Book of the Nine Rings, I think is what it is, and a few other books actually. The Way of the Void also. This guy was a samurai. So our Space Vikings, their culture is a Viking type culture, but they incorporate this guy's stuff. This guy, you know how everybody gives Bruce Lee that be like water stuff? You know, the quote that be like water, if water is poured into a glass, it fills the glass, it takes the form of the glass. If water is poured into this, that actually isn't a quote originally from, well, Bruce Lee said it, but Bruce Lee only said it because he studied this guy. This guy's the actual guy that said it. That guy's a beast. This guy was so feared. You guys, yeah, that guy's a crazy cool guy. And so we're going to incorporate things from him into the Vikings, just so you guys know. And so we've got a massive war. The Vikings are still fighting with the elves and stuff like that. We've got the myriad of races. We haven't even dealt with them yet at all. And so book 2 is obviously we've got the zombies and the space trolls thrown in already. Um, we haven't dealt with the dragons because we haven't got into the myriad of races. Honestly, book 2, we kill a dragon. Let's get that in there. Book 2. We already know we're going to kill a dragon. The dragons are a god for the Myriad, by the way. Yeah. So we know that a dragon must be killed in book 2. That's what we know. Which that's going to be some super good. That'll be a good experience. Let's take out a dragon. Okay, real quick, I'm going to find somebody to raid over to. Let me click that button. Boom. Click this button. And on Friday, we'll be back with writing. Tomorrow in the afternoon, I'll be back with Entropia Universe. I'm going to pull up somebody that's Entropian. Ooh, there's a lot of people doing Entropia this morning. Let's see what they're doing, though. We've always got to find out what they're doing. Oh, she's just hanging out. I can tell you, anytime I see her like that, I know she's just hanging out. Okay, collision pending. Let's see what collision pending is doing. That's a crafting run. Does anybody have some preference? You know what? King Ads is always good. Let's go to him. Hold on one second. He looks to be awake. He's looking happy. Let's hit him. I want to thank you guys very much for hanging out this morning, just being freaking epic. I hope you all are doing epic and big things in your own life, honestly. And hoping you're closing out this year strong, getting ready for next year. Next year, I hope we all do epic things, like next freaking level, just for the record. Peace, very best wishes, and you guys have a great day.